Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to see episode
Three, four,
four.
four.
Yeah, this is number 4, guys. It took us a while. My room is a mess. Welcome to my room.
We're in Chris's room right now.
We got Simon here. We got all the gang. Gabe Newell on the wall with the big with the big titties.
Yeah.
We just came. We just watched Promare. We came right from here.
Yeah, we were sitting right here on this
We were
very
sitting
couch.
on that very couch right there watching Promare from 2019.
Yes, Promare. It was made by Studio Trigger, who made Kill la Kill, which is a show we both love, and I just rewatched. And I was thinking I wanted to see this for a while, and I'd never seen it. This is my first time watching it, and I liked it decently enough. I like the style more than the substance, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But I'll just start off the bat by saying I really enjoyed the visuals in the movie. I think that was probably the highlight. The color choices and stuff like that, and the way they shaded things, and even their use of CG, which usually I don't like in anime. Usually it's kind of distracting. It was a little bit distracting at first. I don't know how it was for you.
In the beginning, it really did remind me of the Mega Man, like on the GameCube. I don't know if
like Legends was it?
Yeah, something like that. The Mega Man with like that cutscenes and stuff.
Okay.
It was very reminiscent of like early. I don't know. Like the CG was. It kind of was glary in the beginning, and then I guess as it progressed, I kind of did like just. It became natural. But I know what you mean. Like with the colors too. Like I also like I love the colors. They had. We'll get into the characters and stuff, but some of them had like very unique to their like groups color. You know, they had like everybody had their own schemes. Like there's like fire department and
and the burnish.
The burnish, yeah.
Which, well, we'll get it. So basically, the basic plot, as we're told in the beginning, is that 30 years ago.
Okay.
He was a little confused on this.
Yeah,
because they go by the exposition really quickly in this movie, which a lot of people have commented on. I saw online, but like, it's true. They do explain things extremely quickly, and if you
the exposition is just like boom, here it is.
Yeah, and what they explain is 30 years ago in this world, there was some sort of event, which they explain later, that causes people to awaken with this firepower. And they destroy the world, or they burn up, and they blow up all the buildings, or something like that.
At first, it shows like a pregnant lady having a fight with her husband. It shows a guy on a train being like kind of like shoved and pushed, like old people kind of getting like a bullied almost. And it's
like it seems to specifically awaken within like people who are fed up or
like
pissed off.
angsty, and they're just like, I can't take this anymore, you know. And I feel like that might have been like a little bit reflective of the character, like the. Who is later related to the burnish?
Yeah. And they explain that, and then we skip forward 30 years.
The Great World Blaze has come to an end. Half the population. 30 years after the Great World Blaze, we must strive more than ever to maintain peace.
And there are these firefighters, which is what they call them, which they fight off the burnish who use these flame powers. And they like save people who are trapped in buildings from these catastrophic events.
Yeah, they look at them almost as terrorists, and they kind of operate in a similar way to like firebenders. If you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's a very popular show, you know. But kind of that's the only thing I can really relate it to, you know, in the sense where it's just like they weren't like doing like these fancy moves going like this, but they kind of could harness or like grab onto like fire from
they can manipulate it to their will.
Yeah. And like control it that way. It was interesting how they showed it off.
Yeah, and our heroes, which is it's really only the two of them, Gallo and Arya, right?
The one.
The girl.
Oh yeah, okay. Of the main squad, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a whole squad of firefighters.
I'm gonna pull up a list because there is a pretty diverse cast of the main people on the squad. There's Gallo. There's Lucia Fex.
She's like the techie.
The techie girl, yeah. There's Ignis X, who plays a pretty decent role. He's the main.
He's the head of the squad.
Yeah.
Although he's not really the main character at all, but he's the head.
Various Trusts, I guess was his name. He was introduced and shown to be like this really like powerful guy. They mention his superhuman strength, and they're like, they're like the Burnith, or is it
Burnish?
Burnish. The Burnish aren't. The Burnish aren't the only ones that have like amazing powers. It was not important to remember his name, so I have to look it up. Varys also has super strength, and and it's shown that he's like has massive muscles, and he's like can I don't know, he's like huge.
I don't think he ever does anything with it.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, it's an interesting little character thing, I guess.
I feel like there was someone else on the team, that the guy with the glasses who looked like the smart
nerd,
guy from
yes.
Kill la Kill.
Yeah,
He's not even.
I don't remember his name, but
he didn't make it onto the list of characters, or at least he doesn't have a show.
Google didn't deem him important, but
he was also introduced to be a cast member. And they set him up to be like this big team. It's like all going to be like united in a unit. And
I thought they'd play more of a part, but they're really only in the beginning and the end.
They last for as long as like 20 minutes maybe into the movie, where they have a specific scene about there's a whole pizzeria scene we'll get into.
Yes.
But I guess we're still establishing the story of the world. But so far we have this crew of firefighters, and they're fighting the
Burnish.
Burnish. I keep saying Burneth.
Let them burneth.
Let them burneth. The Burnish. Ooh. They establish that they fight fires, and they're helping this. They rescued like a couple people. They have like infrared signatures that they keep going in and out of. And then when they get into this facility, they're bringing out the people. They're stopped by the three main resistance leaders, I guess, of the
Burnish. Yeah.
The Burnish, yeah.
They have which is Leo and his two Leon or something, right?
It is Leo.
Okay.
Leo
first time.
Fotia.
It's Leo Fotia.
And he wants people to remember that. He brings it up many times.
Yes, he brings up his name, and I couldn't remember it anyway. So it's so good to. Before we go on, every time a character is introduced, they shows their name in Japanese and English text behind them.
Right.
But
Similar to Kill la Kill.
Similar to Kill la Kill, which is their use of text is very creative, and I love it. It's really stylized.
Right.
But they're always blocking it, so I couldn't hear them the first time sometimes. And they were blocking their own name, so it's like, God damn it! Now I won't remember their name.
It was really hard to understand. And then there was some parts, especially towards the end, where
we were watching in English, by the way, so we didn't have the boon of subtitles to help us remember these names.
True, yeah.
If we had it in Japanese with subtitles, which we would have remembered easier probably, but But anyway, Leo is the leader of the Burnish. He's the super powered dude.
Uh-huh.
He gets captured and hauled away by the police, who are led by this unruly, big buff, spiky teeth cop.
Anybody who knows Kill la Kill would know
Gamagori.
Gamagori. He's very similar to Gamagori in certain ways, like just how he
hulking and large and
the same way
darker skinned.
The animation that Trigger does is like, in Kill la Kill they had these amazing scenes, especially when they first introduced Gamagori, where he's like this towering guy who, I think his introduction in Kill la Kill is he kicks down a door
and he like leans through it.
And he leans through it. It manipulates all the all the animation that you can do. Like it's
this forced perspective.
Yeah, it's the perfect utilization of animation as a method. But they use that a lot with this character too. So it kind of showed his larger than life personality as like he's so like booming and boisterous. And it really like he had it was a very cool character. I like it. He had like the Dragon Ball Z like a scanner thing. Yeah, the scouter.
He was cool, but he was the bastard.
Yeah, he's very corrupt, and he's second in command to the main guy who established this whole. I guess there was only one city that was brought back in the 30 years. Is what they
we don't see outside the city, but
they don't show it much,
actually,
except for like the external shots at the end.
I was gonna say they do, because they cut away to different cities.
Oh wait.
They were different places, and they're all like, or whatever, while shit's going down.
I don't. This guy apparently, Cray Forsyth, also is like he's known as the governor.
He's the hero of the city, but he's going to be the main villain at the end, which he is.
It's pretty, it's right from get go. You're kind of like, oh, this is the guy,
Yeah, it's not. It's partially his design, which you said he looked kind of like All Might.
He looks exactly like All Might, again, mixed with Gamagori. He kind of is a combination of both characters, at least in stature and also personality, a little bit.
Sure.
I don't.
So we meet this guy, and he gives our main man Gallo a medal. and then they're back at the pizza place.
Yeah, they
afterwards.
award them for fighting these people. They haul them off, and the police take the Burnish to their prison lab, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll get into. But yeah, they're celebrating at this pizza place, and I had a personal gripe that I specifically wanted to bring up because I'm a huge fan of animation. I animate myself, and one of the things that I've loved growing up with like Iron Giant or like even Lion King, people say like the bugs look like beautiful and you could eat the bugs. Like in Iron Giant, like they have like whipped cream on bread and it's like the most tasty thing. The milkshakes and that, like food in animation is like, you know, there's animes about like cooking and stuff. Like for some reason, drawn food to me at least like looks even more like beautiful and like delicious than most things.
Sure.
The pizza in this looked disgusting. It was like stretchy. Like it looked. There was no cheese on it. It was all sauce. It was all red.
All sauce, and it was confusing because it did look rubbery because of the way they animated it. They animated it to look bouncy for some reason.
It looked exactly like the actual gummy pizzas that you can get at like the dollar store. You know what I mean?
Disgusting. Yeah.
Like they looked exactly the same. Where it's like all red, and then it's just like a mushroom, a little leaf, and like a thing. And they're like,
it was margarita.
good
what do you
pizza,
want?
margarita made right. And just like stretching. No one makes it as good as you.
Yeah, they specifically do comment it's the best in the city.
Yeah,
so this isn't just an issue with the pizza making. This was an issue with the animation.
Yeah, no, this is a big gripe.
My one issue with the style of the movie is the pizza style.
That one I'm not going to look past. All right, but just so you know for later when we give our final reviews, that will
affect the score. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they eat the pizza. The pizza guy turns out to be a Burnish.
Yeah.
The police, including the big bastard, comes over and
yeah,
kidnaps
just call him
them.
Big Bastard.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his name, so I'll just call him Big Bastard. Come over and take him away, and he's like, "What happens next?"
Though that's when they cut to the ice prison, I think. Very cool design. I mean, I think they had something very similar in Avatar. Actually, drawing another parallel, they had something where it was like in the middle of in the Avatar universe, they can't get anything unless they're like near fire, so they just had them like all in water or something, you know. It's kind of like that, but like this was all ice. Well, they could have done the same thing in Avatar because they get the same thing where it's like when they're all cold they can't really use their powers.
Sure.
So Iroh,
who's Iroh from Avatar?
Leo. Leo. Mixed up the letters.
Yeah.
And I added an R. But Leo is brought in with his two goons from the Burnish.
Yes.
I don't remember their names. I'll just call them.
They have names, but they're never. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They have a couple of speaking roles, but they're brought in, and I forget exactly how they escape. He kind of just like supercharges his fire. He breaks his cuffs. Yeah, he breaks the cuffs. He's
I
like,
can break those cuffs.
Ah! And he snaps past and frees the other guys. They go and they find all the prisoners and everything from all the police raids and everything of the area. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is very important, I guess, for the review that I want to point out that we were making jokes throughout watching the movie.
Yes.
And I was just being really dumb. And I was just like, oh, like, because they specifically had like a very ugly looking, like he has like missing teeth and he's just like this old looking man with like swirly glasses.
You'd expect him to be like,
exactly, yeah, kind of old man. Exactly like that guy, like all those tropes and everything. And I was like, oh, watch out for that guy. We're not going to see the last of him. Like, you know, like I was like, oh, I don't trust that guy.
Yeah.
Just joking, you know.
He did.
And yeah, I mean, I guess, well, foreshadowing for the review, he comes back in a big way.
Kind of.
Kind of. But yeah, so they rescue all the prisoners, and what was the next part?
Gallo and
that's when
his girl. Well, Gallo and his girl are having a romantic evening on the icy lake.
Yeah, he takes. Gallo takes the girl, whatever the girl's.
I think it's Arya, but I can't remember.
We'll say Arya. I might be wrong. But the red-headed girl. I wish I knew her name.
Yeah, just look quick.
He's looking it up. Put it on screen. It's who's gonna get it first? It's not popping up.
You suck.
Wait, where is she?
Is that her sister or is that her?
That's her sister. There she is. Fandom, Promare.
He's going on the wiki. He has to go on the wiki.
It's
Aina.
Aina.
Sorry, I said Aria. Aina. So Aina and Gallo are on the lake.
It's not even on the main Google.
And he notices a fire coming from the sky. He checks out a cave, and that's where all the Burnish are hanging out.
He has an affinity
The
for this
escaped
certain
Burnish.
lake, and he mentions that he's dug like underneath the ice before,
yes.
several meters.
This is just to establish it's frozen all the way through.
Yeah, and that
That's
he's
the-
a huge
so
fan
he
of this.
checked.
Yeah,
This
he
is the
checked.
That's the point of that line. Of that he's like,
Don't worry. I dug 5 meters deep once and it was ice all the way down.
"Oh, I dug 5 feet down and I couldn't find the end of the ice. It's okay to walk on it." That's just a little bit of setup for later. That is set. Although you don't really need it, it's kind of pointless. But he's just establishing that the lake is frozen all the way down. He goes in the cave. He discovers the runaway Burnish, and they tell him basically like, "We're just innocent people, and they're taking us away." You know.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh, and that's where the kiss scene comes in. He shows them.
Yes.
Well, I feel like that scene was supposed to. I wrote. Oh, man, I'm so bad at the names. Leo. Oh my God. Leo goes and he's trying to show Gallo that he's a good guy and that he's, he wants or that the Burnish are.
The Burnish are not evil. They're just people. Although they never really explain why the Burnish attack cities.
Yeah, they do.
They kind of just do.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they are just pissed off.
They have to. They say they have to expel their flames.
Yeah.
But they don't explain why they're terrorists. Like at the end they do have a demand, but that's only at the end, where he's like, well, not near the end, not at the end, but either way.
Yeah, it's strange. I kind of It kind
Either
of
way,
glossed over that.
it's strange. But anyway, he's like, oh, the Burnish are not that bad. Oh, and this
Right.
one's dying. I'm going to kiss her and heal her. And he kisses her. And it
Gallo
looks like
first insists, he's like, wait, I have medical attention. I have supplies in my car, right outside the cave. I can help her.
Yes.
I can bring her back. And he's like, don't worry. I got this.
Yeah, he makes this whole big deal about how he kisses her, and it looks like it's going to heal her. And then she
does something to her body, and there's shockwaves through her.
Yeah, and then she disintegrates.
Yeah,
and dies.
He just sexually assaults this lady who's incapacitated, and she just fades away and
they
into
should
ashes.
cancel him.
Yeah, Leo should be canceled. There's something
Really?
definitely wrong with that dude.
Yeah,
I knew it from the start. All the fire and everything, and all the angst.
Yeah, it's a
He
recipe
was
for
waiting-
disaster.
Yeah, he was waiting to explode.
Yeah, but anyway, we're only mentioning this because it comes into play later.
Yes.
So that happens. They abandon the Gallo, and Gallo gets rescued by Aina.
Yeah, she's immediately there. Also, very strange. She just as soon as they leave the cave, she has a flashlight on him, she was right behind him.
Yeah.
That was just happened. A lot of happenstance.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that right now.
And then Gallo goes to confront Foresight.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't deserve this medal, and neither you don't deserve to give it to me.
Some people deserve to wear medals, and those medals should come from people who deserve to award them.
And he's like, I have something to show you, son.
Oh yeah, and
because they were doing experiments on the Burnish, which is what Leo tells him, and he's like,
that's what he tells him.
Experiments on the Burnish,
and he also just goes along with it. He's just all he showed him was that there was a kiss. Really, he showed him the
well,
kiss.
he didn't
and
show him any proof. No.
Yeah, he didn't. That's what I mean. He didn't show him any proof. He was just he was like, we got experimented on. and then they just left, and then he confronts his boss Foresight.
I don't remember his first name.
Yeah, he Gallo confronts Foresight, and he's like, I heard you're doing experiments, so I won't accept this, even though he already accepted the medal. But he's like, I'm returning the medal.
Yes, and then he goes to show him his secret lair. He's like,
and he reveals this big Wall-E ship. If you're familiar with the film Wall-E, Pixar's Wall-E, very similar
Pixar's Wall-E.
concept.
Yes, and he yes, and especially going along, it's especially similar because of what his ultimate plan is. So Foresight's like, all right, the Earth is going to explode in 6 months. 6 months.
6 months.
He mentions, because the magma underneath the Earth is
the core of the planet.
The core of the planet is gonna blow up or something like that. So he says that, and he's like, so our plan is to go to another dimension using harnessing the
warp drive.
using a warp drive. Well, it's not another dimension. Sorry, It's not another dimension. It's like 4 light years away to this planet they've discovered that's similar to Earth. It's too far to do, so they created a warp drive that can warp through space, I suppose.
Yeah, they do that. They show it very briefly. They show that folded paper.
Yeah, they show the classic going through
the wormhole thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff they gloss over, but you could tell there's a lot of thought put into like the whole backstory and lore. Like we're kind of glossing over a lot of it, but it's just thrown at you like the exposition is just.
This goes by very fast as well, and there's a lot of it. This is why we're kind of just going through it.
There's a lot of exposition.
But yeah, they're going to this other planet, and they're going to use a warp drive, and the warp drive is powered by the burnish by spinning them around very fast.
Yeah, and these little tiny there's triangles are a symbol with all the burnish. Yes. Every time they show a burnish, it's always like a triangle is their symbol of energy. They're like their source or their fire, I guess.
Yeah. So they're gonna spin around. They're gonna kidnap a bunch of burnish and spin them around really fast to create a warp hole, so they can put their giant spaceship full of 10,000 lucky people.
They never clarify who gets that either. The rich or just people that Forsyth liked.
They just say it's 10,000 people. They never mention who is included on that.
They never show anybody loading into the thing either. I want to point out, like they just they destroy a building.
At a certain point, they're just like everyone's loaded on.
Yeah, he's just like, you idiots! They're on the bottom of the ship. You know.
Yes.
Even though the ship later crashes on its belly, so I don't know if those people died.
I think they did.
Okay, well, it's safe to assume that everybody that was the 1% of the world died in this movie.
Yes.
But so anyway, I think that was along the part where there's the betrayal.
Leo and his burnish are on the run.
Right. Yeah.
And Gallo gets captured.
Oh.
After that,
yeah. Basically. So Gallo tells him after
he reveals his secret
plan, he's like, I'm not doing it, whatever, and then they just put a gun to his back and they're like, you're arrested.
Yeah. So cut to
and the sister of Gallo is also the scientist who came up with the warp drive.
No, the sister of Ina.
The sister of Ina, Gallo's girlfriend.
Yes.
Who's not his girlfriend, but
they have romantic
tension.
Yeah. So cut to Leo and his burnish people, and they're camping out in it's like a. What do they call those? An oil rig?
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
thing?
They have a big oil rig. It almost looks like in Fallout, like if you played Fallout 3 or New Vegas or Fallout 4, they have like these big highways basically that have like the undersides and stuff, and that's usually where they have ghouls. I don't know if that's like a more obscure reference to make, but
no.
It's something where it's like the underside of a bridge basically can hold like a bunch of people, and they throw tarps over it and disguise themselves.
Looked like an oil rig to me, but whatever it was.
Oh, that's what it looked like to me, at least. I couldn't tell. Maybe I was wrong.
Whatever it was.
Show the clip.
Well, whatever it was, the burnish are hiding out there. The cops, including Big Bastard, come to take them away. Mm-hmm. And Leo's like, "How did you find us?" And it turns out, the old man.
Mr. Malkin, I've been waiting for you.
You told him. What have you done?
No!
Oh yeah, he comes back for some reason, and
he's like, I sold you guys out.
Yeah, and he doesn't do it for any reason. He doesn't do it for money. He doesn't do it for protection.
He says something like, "We never stand a chance."
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's like, well, especially not now.
Yeah, especially not now when you sold everybody out and then put a thing on Leo, like a bomb that like explodes all of his armor or something.
Oh yeah.
Like he completely messed him up for like a good 20 minutes, like 15 minutes going forward into the movie, just because he slaps a ice bomb on his rib cage. But it was just like a betrayal out of nowhere. But somehow called it. I did.
Yes, you did call it somehow. So there's no setup to that. By the way. There's no foreshadowing. He just
happens to do it. Yeah.
But so everyone gets kidnapped except Leo.
Mm. He uses his powers to, as a last ditch effort, launch himself towards a volcano where he knew they wouldn't follow them.
Yes.
There's also a massive volcano that is the main stem to the molten core.
I guess they show it a lot.
Yeah, it looks like it has a face, and it looks like a haunted. If you've seen like a haunted like hill or something in like a very like cartoony animation, like a lot of mountains are always depicted with like caves,
with a scary face.
and it has like magma running out of it. Had a cool look. There was a cool segment where man, I'm really drawing a blank with these names. Leo,
Yeah.
where Leo is saved by the power of the. Should we get into what it is, or?
Oh yeah. Well.
Because I guess that's where it kind of starts being established.
Well,
what the
I'll
the title where it falls in line.
Well, I'll explain it this way. So,
Okay.
Leo gets pissed. He revives. He's out and about, and he's like, "I'm going to destroy the city unless you free all the Burnish."
Yeah, he breaks out of the ice that he was launched and propelled into the volcano, and he falls in, and it mixes with him a little bit.
He turns into a giant dragon thing. There's a big fight scene with him and Gallo, and eventually they get launched into the ice lake from earlier. Right.
Well, they're fighting in the city for like a bit. Like there's maybe like a 5-minute like stint where they're just like fighting, going back and forth, and Leo is going to fight Forsyth. Like he just wants to take him head on right now.
He wants to kill him.
Yeah, just stop him because he's pissed off. He's done. He knows that he's like he kind of. I think he knows the plans a little bit. He knows that they're being experimented on, and so he's going straight for him. Then that's when Gallo stops him, and then the girl picks both of them up into a helicopter that she designed where they can fight inside of it without without breaking anything, and they're contained completely. Even though he was Leo was had a whole force of a volcano traveling behind him. It was a very big, very colorful scene. It was very beautiful eye candy. I loved looking at it. But they essentially get locked in this thing, and it might be for me my least favorite scene when they're in the helicopter. I remember I mentioned like the eyes that he had on Leo. Like it was the exposition was so heavy, and especially for that part, I don't know. It just that part for me felt a little like the cringiest.
Yeah.
But following the cringiest scene, the girl just randomly, again, this is another kind of random just thing that happens, is the girl decides they need to cool off even though they're talking things out and kind of doing a good job of it. She just says, "Oh, you guys need to cool off."
Alright, you two! Why don't you cool off a little bit?
Drops the pit of the contained helicopter thing, and they fall like probably like a 40,000 feet down into the ice lake.
I know.
And then they
burn.
There's also a couple lakes. They go right into this specific one that they visited before.
Yes.
Luckily, it was that one.
They go back to the ice lake. He burns through the surface of it and all the way to the center and burns all the water out.
Yeah,
like,
it just evaporates.
And it just so happens, for some reason, this isn't hinted at all, but there's an underground laboratory or under ice laboratory hidden in the lake, and they go inside, and it's Forsyth's old partner created this lab and created a virtual computer program that's his brain.
His name is
Does he have a name?
He does.
But he doesn't have a name. It's like
Deus Prometh.
Yeah.
Prometh. Deus Prometh.
Yes. Or something
He smokes
like
a lot of meth, and he's a pro at it.
Yeah, or I was gonna say he's just for it.
Oh, he's all for it. Yeah, he's pro meth. I like it. He is the most comic relief type character, honestly, that we got.
He's just his inclusion is just so strange because it comes out of nowhere, and
it comes out of nowhere.
We're not told before. Oh, Forsyth used to have a partner. Like no one mentions that before we discover him.
And as soon as they go in the lab too, the girl who was flying way past the mountain when she dropped them off is all of a sudden behind them. I just want to say, like, she just came out of nowhere. She's like, "Oh, hey guys, I dropped the plane off and I'm here now."
I gave that a pass, but yeah, it is just weird.
It was just
considering everything else, but it's like, so Dave explains to them that he used to be Forsyth's partner.
Right.
He was killed by Forsyth, but before he did, he created an underground lab with a little robot, a brain, and I'm
sorry. A robot brain where he figured this professor. Sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this professor also he figured out how to capture his consciousness because he was so paranoid that Forsyth would kill him.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to point out that was
he knew he was going to be killed for some reason,
and then learned and studied how to put his consciousness into an AI.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. Yeah, that part stood out to me as like, what?
And the AI explains to them there. He's like, "All right, here's the big exposition dump. The big reveal. Promare is an alien organism from another dimension, an alternate Earth.
The energy the Burnish use only appear to be flames. They are in fact a fire-based life form from a parallel universe.
What? A fire-based life form?
I named them the Promare.
That somehow 30 years ago got transferred to the core of Earth, and is awakening power in the Burnish for some reason, and manifests itself as this fiery substance, but it's actually a living organism.
Right.
And in 6 months, it will destroy the world because it's going to explode or something. And once they launch the spaceship with and open the warp drive and open the warp hole, that will also destroy the world.
Oh yeah, yeah. Immediately as soon as they leave, and destroy everybody because the power of the Burnish is completely connected to the magma inside the core of the Earth, because that's where I guess
Yes,
the parallel.
and it feels their pain.
Yeah.
And by spinning them around really fast, it causes them a lot of pain, and that'll that'll really piss off the Promare, which is the inside of the Earth now, and it'll explode. So either way, it seems like they're screwed.
There's one particular point where they turn on the generator that's inside the tank, and they show before. They have the old man again spin. He's the first person to spin, the guy who betrayed him, the old man. And they turn him on first, and the whole portal, essentially, they show it opening
Yes.
off of him alone.
He had a lot of power just in him, just
Because he's very evil.
Yes, because he's very because his sheer malice caused the portal to open on its own. But then they spin everyone else, and it gets huge.
That was so funny to me.
But yeah, they dump all that information on the Promare, and he's like, also, I made this mech, the Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina!
Here's my massive mech that you can use to destroy them.
Yes.
Because I also knew this was going to happen.
Yes, and Deus Ex Machina, it means God from machine. It's a...
Oh yeah, I was asking.
You were asking before what it meant in terms of storytelling. When they had plays in the old days, they would have a god literally come from a machine, meaning they would lower a god character from like a platform, and they would solve all the problems at the end of the story. So like if there was like all this drama and murder and whatever, the god would come down from this platform and like fix everything.
Oh.
And now in storytelling, a Deus Ex Machina means when something happens at the end that just fixes everything.
Oh, okay. So it's self-aware then.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the movie is very self-aware of how ridiculous and over the top it is.
I think so. I think it's definitely aware of how over the top it is. I don't know if it's aware of the storytelling, which I'll get to at the end of the review, how I feel about the storytelling overall.
Okay. Yeah.
But,
I've been trying to hold off on that too.
Yeah, but so basically they drop all this info. They reveal the mech, and they're like, okay, let's do this. Let's fight the big bad Forsyth. Forsyth has a bigger mech, of course. Why wouldn't he? And they duke it out. There's a big mech fight, which is pretty cool.
That's when they talk about the buildings getting destroyed, and they're like, "You idiot! They're on the bottom."
No. No. He turns a building into dirt.
He turns the building into dirt. And that's
because
when he starts revealing some of his power ups and
Yeah,
stuff
he's
that
like,
he has.
I can turn buildings to dirt because I can terraform with this laser. And he's like, and they're like, what about the civilians inside? He's like, you fools! They're in an underground bunker.
Hey, what about the people inside?
They're all in underground shelters, obviously!
Like, that's such a, like, oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, like, what? You fools! Like, he was like...
He was, like, happy about it.
Even
though he's the bad guy, he was just like, I didn't hurt anybody.
it was really, like, I don't know. This movie could be a comedy.
That's kind of what I wanted a little more from it, to be honest.
Because then I could overlook some of the stuff, because they play it kind of serious.
They play the whole movie serious,
Which
I'll get into the end.
Yeah.
With my
Okay.
storytelling plan.
I know we're getting close to the end. It's just
We're getting close to the end of the story.
all right. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So the mech, they
Yeah.
fight on the mechs. There's a big fight. A lot of things happen, but the main takeaway is at the end it reveals that Foresight was a Burnish as well.
Right. Yeah.
Although he
kinda-
really didn't need to be, but
not at all. Not even.
it doesn't really add to the story in any way. He doesn't like. He's not like regretful of being a Burnish. That's why it's just like I'm a Burnish.
He literally says like it must not affect you. It doesn't. He's just a complete sociopath.
Yeah, he's
he's
just an asshole.
he's just an asshole. Which I mean, what a great character design for just to make your character an asshole.
Yeah, why
for
not?
no
I
reason.
mean, he's the villain. He should be an asshole, but like, it's just he has no justification for it. And I mean, I guess he thinks he's saving the world, but when they constantly are like, "Why didn't you just stop the magma in the
Yeah.
earth?" And he's just like, "I can't." He's like, "Oh, okay.
6 months.
It's 6 months. I can't." It's like, okay.
It's impossible. But
And they
we didn't mention that when they launched the ship. Remember when he was like telling her, "We have to launch it now."
Yeah, he was weird. It was weird because I
Okay.
guess he was just lying, but he says,
Okay.
he
Yeah.
just randomly says like, "I'm gonna launch the ship. We have to launch now. The flares are flaring up. It's gonna happen soon." It's like, wait, what? I thought you said 6 months.
He keeps stressing 6 months. The Deus guy stresses 6 months, and then all of a sudden he's like, "We need to launch now," just to further the plot, I guess.
I think he was just lying, but
Yeah,
to further
lying-
the plot.
yeah,
but
lying
he's
to
just,
further the
he's
plot.
just like, yeah, we gotta go now. It's like, okay, and all the assistants are like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, all right, whatever."
And the Ina's sister eventually is like, "Fuck you," and
this-
blows up the engines.
Yeah, so Ina, the sister of the main character Gallo's love interest,
Yes.
she is the one who really kind of technically saves the day. In my opinion, she's the real hero.
I suppose.
At least as far as I'm concerned, because without the main characters, Leo and Gallo were fighting
The mech.
yeah, the mech that Foresight's in on top of the ship, but she's the one who really like stops it from actually transporting itself,
Yes.
because
She
it was
stop-
going to anyway.
She stops it from going through the portal by blowing up the engines.
Yeah, so she's the hero, and so she blows up the engine, and then
Then Foresight takes
he has
Leo
this
and
Dragon Ball Z orb type looking thing.
yeah, he puts him in the
He
Leo
just
in the
puts
orb.
him in a washing machine orb.
Yes, and he's like,
Closes the
he's
lid.
like, "You'll power the whole thing now."
For some reason, Leo is powerful enough to power
The engines and
everybody
everyone,
who's
yeah.
a Burnish.
I don't know. I mean, he is the most powerful, but he didn't seem that strong.
He definitely wears the coolest outfits
Yes.
and looks the most
Awesome.
twinkish. He
Yes,
has like this
that too.
rainbow twink look that he's kind of like, he's like effeminate, but he's like also masculine, and he's like, he
Yeah,
has like
I approve.
he has one earring, and then he's like, it's a cool design.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like he
No,
looks
all the
like
designs in this are
I-
great.
they introduced him saying like it's a kid, and I was like, oh, it's a girl, and then it
Yeah,
was a
it was
kid.
weird because when he's revealed, and this is going way back. But when
Yeah, this is the
when they
beginning.
reveal his face, they're just like, the character said, Gallo says, "It's a kid."
Yeah,
And they're but he gasps for it. He's like, oh, "It's a kid," and everyone
and it looks
me and
just
him,
like a girl with
and
like
me and
hair
Chris thought,
flowing.
yeah, in that shot he looks effeminate, so we were thinking, oh, he's gonna be like, "It's a girl,"
Yeah.
but no, it's a kid, and it's like, oh, we couldn't really tell because it's an anime what age they are. They all kind of look the same, but
Yeah, and they also
whatever.
act like almost as mature as everybody else. I can't tell.
It plays no
They're
part.
very tall. It just seems like a weird thing to say. Sorry, it just it throws off the momentum. It just, but that also reminded me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that was a weird thing too.
But anyway, so they put him in the orb, and
Yeah,
he's and
tuck
they're
him
like,
in the orb, power it up.
and what happens next? They're like,
Gallo gets blasted as a last-ditch effort. He's trying to save Leo, and Foresight blasts him with his big incinerator arm. He lost an arm way back in the beginning. He lost an arm saving Gallo, and reveals that he also has been trying to kill Gallo and sending him on the most. He covers it super quick, like it's in a minute time. Like as he's blasting him, he's like,
"I've been trying to get rid of you from the start."
"You've always been a pain in my ass, a cancer." And he's like, "I tried to send you on the worst missions to kill you." And he's like, "You wanted to kill me? What?" And then he's like, that's what Gallo's kind of like. Also, when they explained
What?
the Deus, when they explained the setup of of the AI and everything way
Yeah.
back in the thing. Gallo's falling asleep and couldn't care less, which I thought was just funny.
What is this old guy even talking about?
You know, it's
Yeah,
just like
that's a moment of comedy.
it's a moment of comedy, but it was just like of all the times to just be like not treating the plot seriously after you ham-fisted all this
the most
exposition.
Yeah,
At least have your characters
exposition.
care.
Yeah, that was a little silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he punches through the blast.
Yeah, he
or
punches
whatever,
through the blast,
and beats
and
up.
he has a flame from Leo, who's now incapacitated because he's
Yes.
been drained or something.
And he beats up Forsyth, and he's like, "Now what are we gonna do? The Earth's gonna blow up anyway."
Right.
In 6 months.
In 6 months, yes.
And he's like,
Goes
"Not
back
if I
back on his lie and says 6 months again.
Yeah, and he's like, "Not if I can help it. We team up our powers, and create a super wave of cold flames or something."
Yeah.
This part's not really of all the parts to explain how they save the world. Like, this is not explained at all.
Yeah.
This just happens, and you can kind of extrapolate what's happening from it, but there's no monologuing or what do you call it, exposition
Yeah.
to explain this. Despite there being quick exposition throughout the whole movie about all these little points,
Yeah.
there's nothing to explain what happens here, and I'll just put it on the screen, I guess. But there's
Alright.
like this big wave of blue energy that encompasses the Earth, and they fly out. They create this whole their mech form, an energy form, and they punch the Earth.
A
And they-
1,000 times,
Yes.
like Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
Yes.
And this is my favorite part because I was so confused. It cracks like a black egg-like tar cocoon, and all of a sudden it's modern day Earth with like all the continents that we have today, like or you know like how like all the
Yeah, sure.
I forget what it's called, like the you know like how the continents break apart. There was like South
Yeah.
America, North America, and like the European nations, but like how we have it today in this weird world where I don't know.
Yeah, it's this weird alternate world, but it reveals Earth at the end and it looks normal.
It didn't look like that any other point even in the past when they were showing it.
I don't think so. I'm
Because
not
it was
sure
all like
though.
weird anime buildings. I guess maybe it didn't look like Earth, but
Yeah, but they restore Earth to normal
immediately, just
by punching through the Earth, and I guess they kill the Promare. I mean, they say it's alive, but they don't explain what happens to it, so I'm just gonna assume they kill it.
you could assume that it goes back to the galaxy, but you could have just as easily assumed that they
Yeah,
killed it
it's
at the same
They
time.
either send it back to where it came from, or they kill it. I'm not entirely sure because, like, again,
and they want you to care about the Promare.
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 Maybe.
We satisfied the Promare's primal drive to burn. We sent them back to their universe and closed the dimensional rift. There are no more Promare and no more Burnish in this world anymore.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I mean, they show it when they pick it up, and it's like a little baby
cute.
face. It's like,
Yeah, they,
you know,
make
like
it look,
it's,
they do make it look cute, but
they never show it as like a villainous thing, and it never hurts
it's just,
anybody.
no, it's just an alien thing. It's
Yeah.
not really bad or good. I mean, it's bad because it's gonna blow up the planet, but
In 6 months.
it's not trying to.
Yeah,
Anyway, so that's pretty much the end of the movie.
yeah, it kind of just ends on that.
They save the Earth. There's no epilogue, which I was surprised. I thought they would show all the characters like together, like kind of like I just rewatched Kill la Kill, so the end credits of Kill la Kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
the
love
final
that.
episode. They have them going on a date.
Yeah.
And they show the characters, and it's a really simple thing, and it's like, oh, okay.
Kill la Kill is
everything's
really
happening.
a perfect series. It has like
Yes,
such a great wrap
I
up.
enjoyed that much more than this, but and I'll go over my overall opinions
Okay.
of the movie.
Are you getting ready? Are you ready to just like go on to your review?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so. My wrap up review is that, well, I really love the visuals. Those were incredible and definitely a very eye catching, eye candy. You said, which I definitely agree with. The colors and the motions and the mixture of CG and 2D were really appealing, but the story just didn't do it for me. Even the character designs are great, but the
Yeah.
characters themselves are kind of like Gallo's a Kamina type guy.
Yeah.
from Gurren Lagann. He's a very
Same
boisterous,
tactics too. Same exact tactics of just running in.
Yeah,
The stuff that gets Kamina killed in Gurren Lagann works
even-
here.
Yes. Spoilers.
Oh, I mean, oh yeah, go watch that series. if you're gonna watch anything, watch that series. I don't know.
Yeah, but I love the
Or Kill Bill.
visuals, but the story didn't really do it for me. I mean, I know people are gonna say like, the story doesn't matter in a thing like this because it's all about the visuals. But it really, when you're looking at a movie, I mean, for a short, I'd agree. For like a short film,
for a short.
For a short film, like I'd be fine with it. Like I compare it to like Redline, which
Oh
I
love Redline.
Redline I haven't seen in a while, but I like Redline way more than this because they're comparable in that they're both visual feasts for the eyes.
Oh yeah.
They're both like Promare and Redline are just like eye candy the whole way through. The difference is Redline has a competent story structure and plot and characters.
And it delivers on everything.
Yeah, even though it's not amazing story, it's still good enough to where you're with it the whole way through. This just had me asking questions a lot of the time. It had me like, just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, a lot of just
like,
confusion.
Confusion. Like, even though I understood what was going on, I was confused why it was going on.
Yeah.
It was just, it was a lot of that. And it's just like, character motivations were strange. I didn't understand why. Like I said, I didn't understand why the Burnish destroyed buildings. They didn't explain that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted. Now that you brought that up, now that's bothering me now.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, like I said, for a full length movie, you kind of have to have a story structure.
I think a story is important. Like I know it's an anime, and visuals are like a driving factor between, like, for a lot of people why they're going to watch it.
Yeah.
But you should have a competent story, or at least be above just having Deus Ex Machinas just for the hell of it, and then being so on the nose, and like that's the one time you're very comedic, is just to be like, it's serious, and then like, oh, we couldn't think of anything. I was
gonna say is this could have used some sorely needed some comedy, or like at least a sense of humor, because like
it was so over the top. Like firefighters, like was the main theme, and they're like firefighters were the. I don't know, like the police weren't really shown off as police even. It's kind of like the firefighters were the only like authority.
And I don't mind when something silly takes itself seriously, but I think that Trigger is good at comedy. So they're good at making something funny, and I feel like that wasn't their aim with Promare, and I felt like they could have just added a little bit of humor to it. I mean, there was even a little rat guy, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, Vinny, I think that's the one character I didn't need the phone for. Vinny the rat is a great character. Sits on the
girl's shoulder, yeah.
The main girl or the tech girl?
Both of them, I think, actually.
Yeah, that Vinny's a slut. He loves shoulders. He's a slutty rat shoulder rat. Yeah, what a great character, Vinny. Got to say two lines and go.
He got shafted.
Yeah, he definitely got shafted. But nobody got shafted more than the scientist dude from the beginning.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
He literally has not even a single. You can't even find his name online. I'm sure you can find his name online, but yeah, a lot of my review would probably echo yours. Like I had the same problems. Visuals, of course, were great. The beginning, I had a hard time getting into it with the 3D, and I think I know what it is, and I'm sure people have pointed this out before, but at least this is my. Now I kind of like see what people mean, because I know that people had a problem with like Berserk having 3D, and I remember when that was becoming a lot more prevalent.
Series,
yeah, I remember there was like a point though where I heard like a lot of people complaining about certain animes incorporating 3D, and I know it can be lazy too, but like a main thing that bothered me with, especially with something like this, is the dynamic poses are so important, and I could tell that they were trying to go for some dynamic poses with the 3D, and I could tell always in the action scenes when it was not 2D anymore, because they'll try and do like a pose still, and it just looks awkward where they're like, you have a 3D model trying to replicate this like...
It lacks the exaggeration, I guess.
The natural exaggeration that Studio Trigger is like known for, and they exemplify in like Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. It's like amazing. I think they did that cop show too.
Inferno Cop. That's funny. I like that series.
Yeah.
Super low budget
low budget.
But
they always have like these great poses though, and just there was great poses throughout, but a lot of it though was in the 2D, and I definitely like favored the 2D. So I'm not a big anime like consumer, so I see now like because most of the anime I've seen has been mainly 2D. I feel like because it normally does stick out to me, and I definitely would say it was jarring.
Yeah, you'll see that in unfortunately, almost all modern anime incorporates CG to an extent, especially something like this, which is heavy on like buildings and robots and vehicles.
I get that. Yeah.
And which I think I don't to me, I don't mind when it's something like buildings or robots or vehicles. When it's a character, I don't like it because you can. Like
Well,
you
that's
said,
what I mean with the poses.
like you said, you can tell.
Yeah.
First of all, like
It's just like when you see a CG
It's
horror thing. It's the uncanny valley or maybe,
yeah, it's like this instinctual thing. You can tell when something is CG versus 2D, even though I can't point out exactly what makes it look CG. I'm like, that's CG.
Yeah, I just wish there was a program though that could like filter out and just like you can create a model of 3D and then just there has to be something that we're getting at least close to or something that's not being utilized where you can create a 3D model then flatten it and have the color like the computer like flatten it and color it out like 2D. We have
No
to be
idea.
close to that if
Maybe.
it doesn't exist already, or just get more people to just trace over these buildings. I don't know. It would add so much.
Yeah.
It would add a lot to the budget, but man, it would look so beautiful. I know they do that sometimes with the animation anyway, like with regular
Yeah.
2D animation.
They've done this for a long time with like old space shows like Gundam and a lot of those shows. They would make 3D models of the spaceships
Right.
and trace over the 3D models.
Yeah.
They would do like super simple 3D models just so they can do like these complex turnarounds and stuff because they would have
Oh.
like these ships going like all throughout the space.
Gotcha.
And they would be like, I have no idea how to do that fucking perspective. Let's just 3D model it and I'll trace over it.
Yeah. And it's a good technique. I wish I saw it implemented more with like backgrounds because I think when I do see that, it really stands out and it really looks great. And the visuals were so good throughout. Like the visuals were beautiful. The colors were my favorite part. I love the colors. I kept pointing out white outlines. I love white outlines, especially when they're done correctly. And there was like this scene in the ice prison that I loved. It was so beautiful where they had like this brick. It was like this gray brick floor with actual like snow on it, and they were still able to have these distinct white outlines. Beautiful work. Studio Trigger is always top notch with their stylization of everything.
They from what I've seen though, especially I haven't really seen a lot of Trigger stuff to be honest, but from what I've seen from reviews, I think they're struggling with the story is part of what they struggle with the most. We'll see going forward. Their next thing. I'm not sure if this is their next thing, but I saw they announced a collaboration with Cyberpunk, which I'm not sure how that's going to be because the game was received so poorly. I'm like, I don't want to even see it now. It's like the game came out and it was so like such a mess. I feel like the anime is going to be a mess too.
There's always these shows that come out. Like there was a Halo anime. Remember that? There was a Halo
yeah, there
ODST anime. Doom.
Someone showed me the Halo anime once. I completely.
Dead Space had it had two movies
Space
and
had-
a series. It's like
Yeah.
I don't care about these.
Video game projects.
No, not at all. I mean, they're not for me. I mean, I'm sure someone loves them. I guess there's a demand for them, but
I'm not
that's-
sure.
that seems like a waste of Studio Trigger's time. That's
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
agree.
Well,
What would you give the movie out of 10?
Out of 10, okay, so I mean, like we gotta go. I'm talking visuals. I'm talking story. I gotta incorporate the weak storylines. I gotta take off for the pizza too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to be mean because I love Studio Trigger stuff. But honestly, if I'm being real, just because the plot was kind of abysmal for some scenes, I might give it like a 4 out of 10, 4.5.
Really? Wow.
The visuals save it. But the visuals are what give it like the close to 5. If maybe I'll give it like a 5. So it's not like.
Okay.
But man, that story killed it for me. And the pizza, I also, as a personal bias, I'm taking off a point. Maybe it would be a 6. I'd make it a 5. You know.
I would say since the pizza didn't bother me that much, I would say I would give it a 6.
Okay.
Just because I definitely feel it's above average. I was entertained the whole time.
I was entertained.
and I love the visuals. But like we said, but like I agree. This isn't something that I'm gonna even think about that much after this. Just because like it didn't have anything that was like, whoa, that's a
Yeah.
great idea. It didn't have anything like usually even with weak plots and weak story structure, a lot of anime have good ideas. This one didn't have any good ideas.
Yeah, no
to
good
be honest.
ideas. So that's actually I was gonna say I would give it a 5.2. I'm sticking with the 5, and that's
Okay.
to be gracious. But I don't want to leave it on a sour note saying it's because it is something I'm probably not gonna watch again or think about.
I think if you see the footage we're showing, and it interests you, like you're just like, oh, that looks cool. I think you should watch it.
Yeah, if you really enjoy colors, if you're appreciative of like very like strong art direction where they really have it honed in. Like the lighting sources were actually very impressive. I didn't talk about that, but a lot of the times I was really studying the way that they did the harsh lighting, and they really had like some really dead on like just lines across the characters.
I
Very
like
cool
that
stuff.
But like, if you listen to us shitting on it for an hour, or
Yeah,
whatever
you
this is,
must be semi interested at
you
least.
must be interested.
Or you think we're handsome.
Oh no! But if you listen to us shitting on the plot and that doesn't bother you, and
Yeah.
you still look at those visuals and you say, "Oh, that looks pretty interesting," then yeah, I think you should watch it. I would recommend it in that case.
Mm-hmm.
But if the plot description puts you off, then I'd be like, you could pass it.
But I would recommend both Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann are two animes that I have seen. They're series that you could see. They're very common.
They're both 24 episodes.
Pretty much. I mean, like
Or 26.
a lot of
stuff like
anime
that.
people will probably know right off the bat the series that we're talking about because they are like some of
They're
the most
popular,
popular. Yeah. Right, we had a zombie come in real quick. We'll
cut that out.
we'll leave a moan in, but
No,
we had to
don't.
fight off some zombies. That's why all the junk is barricaded against the door. Simon's protecting us. But yeah, check out Kill la Kill. Check out Gurren Lagann. Both really great.
Red Line.
Oh, Red Line, another one we
Which we
mentioned.
mentioned.
Yeah, that's an amazing movie. If you
Those
want,
are all-
if you want like a movie experience, like if you want to sit down and watch like a great movie, it's stylized too. Great style.
Yeah, we end up recommending a different movie on this review, but
Yeah.
um,
I mean, at least you get something. You get to. I mean, you can check this out if you want. Avoid it if you trust our opinion. But I think most people would recommend those three.
yes.
I think those are
I
really
would
strong
recommend those as
recommendations. And yeah, I guess it's getting a little noisy in the back. We got to go fend off from zombie hordes. So
Yep,
I guess.
we'll sign off for now, but have a good day, good night, or good evening.
All right, take it easy, guys. Let's get my. Hang on.
Okay.
Here, take this. All right, we're gonna have to go and. Here, I'll turn the camera off. You ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right.